National officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Joven Raceres. Second referee, Mr. Joffer Educado. Let us welcome our starting lineup from our Akari Chargers. Let's begin with our team captain. She wears jersey number 6, Michelle Monique Cobb. At number 4, our guest player from the USA, Oluma Ocaro. Wearing jersey number 5, Gretchel Saltones. At number 7, Rosel Victoria. Number 13, Celine Liza Domingo. And number 16, Ivy Keith Laksina. Starting libero is number 1, Danielle Therese Ravena. Head coach, Mr. Takayuki Minowa. Calling on our Capital1 Solar Energy Spikers. Let's begin with jersey number 5, Maria Lourdes Clemente. At number 10, Iris Janelle Tolenada. Wearing jersey number 15, Maria Shola Alvarez. Number 16, Noriel Julia Ipak. Number 22, Leila Jane Cruz. And number 23, guest player from Russia, Marina Tushova. Starting libero is number 18, Rika Jane Rivera. Head coach, Mr. Roger Gorayev. This match is under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusement Board.
Presenting our
Match
starters
number 5
for the
season
Akari
7.
Chargers. We have Sed Domingo, Camille Victoria, Ivy Laksina, Mitch Cobb, Gretchen Sotones, Oli Ocaro, and Danny Ravena. They are wearing white, pink and black for today. And as for Capital1, it's Des Clemente with Julia Ipak, Leila Cruz, Iris Tolenada, Marina Tushova, Shola Alvarez, and Rika RJ Rivera. Thank you for joining us. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Jamie La Victoria and the returning Alexis Tinsay in the PVL. By the way, this is the first appearance of Leila Cruz after a while now in the landscape of Philippine volleyball.
That's right, Migs. I did mention this earlier in the preview. The last time we saw her actually play was UAP season 85.
Yes.
And she got a glimpse of some playing time during the PVL Combine as well in day 2. But very exciting that the draftee is starting in this match.
Well, she did tell us that she is healthy and good to go as an opposite spiker, and now it's the open spiker of Akari with the first point of the match, Ivy Laksina.
Ivy Laksina already going for that cross-court attack, a deep cross-court attack at that. But I'm very interested, Migs, to see the dynamic of these reinforcements during this conference, because sometimes when you add one new player, it completely changes the dynamic of the team.
Well, we've seen reinforcements before being forced to reckon with in the PVL. Akari knows about that. Remember their reinforcement before that basically achieved history, won big games for them. That was Mama Pri.
That's right, back in 2022. But also we have Iris Tolenada, who's back after her Korean stint as well.
Oh, she's in good shape.
Yes, we see that all over social media, working extra hard, doing extra practices aside from her actual training.
Big shout out to Coach Godfrey, who has helped her with the conditioning, by the way. Des Clemente could not score. And on the other end, it's Camille Victoria from the middle.
Loving how Michelle Cobb is already activating Camille here in the first set with a simple quick attack. No coverage for the side of Capital1.
That's what you would want to see from your team captain. With ball distribution for Mitch Cobb, who will be serving once again. Let's see if Rika Rivera and Capital1 can give us a good receive. That's by Alvarez, who now attacks. First point for Capital1.
Shola Alvarez with that cross-court attack. Loving the connection already with Iris Tolenada.
Gets their first
very calm Capital1. I'm seeing a new aura, a lot with the new players, of course, Leila Cruz as well. Of course, there's Roma Dormal on the sidelines, but Coach Charger did mention that he is very happy with the lineup that he has so far.
It's now 1 serving 3. Laksina got the receive. Michkov to the reinforcement. No point so far for Oli. Here's the reinforcement on the other hand. Outside for Marina, and that's a point for Akari.
A bit overcooked in that sequence, a lack of wrist action, but another beautiful set coming from Iris.
Marina Tushova, we broke down, is Russian, but she already had experience playing in Switzerland and in France. The difference, though, was the fact that they had more than 1 reinforcements in those countries. So this is the first time that she will be playing as just her to reinforce her squad. There you go, her first point in the PVL.
And I wonder, Migs, if these reinforce.
As this spike of the set is brought to you by Duncan, Masalubong ng Bayan.
These reinforcements first game jitters.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, it's their first time in the Philippines as well.
Something new.
Soltones could not score. Tolenada pushes to the open.
Perfect set.
Counter for Akari. Back set. Oli. Dug up by Des at the net. Tolenada, nice. Able to find the back row.
Irish Tolenada getting that early gift here in this first set. Take a look here. Taking advantage at the net, finding that hole. Laksina not ready for that.
Iris Tolenada did tell me that at 33 years young, she feels like she is at her peak.
Yes, very competitive.
Soltones down the line is outside.
The right idea. Soltones, we know how her down the line is, but a little bit overcooked in that sequence.
Capital One has equalized. I would just like to share to everybody that before this game, Jamie La Victoria gave me a heads up that this might be long. Let's see if she would be right. As now, let's go to the returning Alexis inside.
Mix and Jamie talking about Oli Akaro of the Akari Chargers. She's actually come to tropical countries only for a vacation. It's the first time she's spending it for a competition, and with that, she's so excited to give her all, especially that she's a middle blocker turned opposite spiker. Grateful that now she can get down and all scrappy like the Filipino creative way of volleyball, different from the American way she's used to. It's the Filipino culture I love the most, she says, as everything seems to be celebrated here, and this is the most inclusive set of girls she's come to meet. Speaking about the Akari Chargers, she says it's like they all grew up together. That's how close they've become even after just 2 weeks of training. More action awaits here in set 1. This report is brought to you by the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for 149 pesos per month and watch via PilipinasLive.com. Experience PVL games live in HD, commercial free anytime and anywhere in the world. Back to you, Mix and Jamie.
As we have always heard in volleyball, sounds family for Oli Akaro here in the Akari Chargers squad. Alexis mentioned that she transitioned from middle blocker to opposite, something that Ivy Laksina also went through before.
And it's not the easiest transitioning right before a conference. And I love what Alexis said, that she loves the Philippines as well. She felt that hospitality as well. Of course, being in the Philippines for quite some time. She's been here for maybe almost a month training with the squad. And you can see that she's connecting well.
I won't be surprised if the next report of Alexis would be about the new favorite food of Oli Akaro in the Philippines.
We need to know.
But maybe she needs more time as well. It is 7 serving 5. Capital One looking good. Domingo from the middle. That's dug up by Marina. It's De La Cruz. Unable to reach that ball. It's a point for Akari.
That's a tight bump set coming from Iris Tolenada there. She was actually a bit too early as well. 2 people were actually stopped getting that first attack. But so far, so good from what we're seeing from Iris and Capital One.
We did see the smile from Coach Roger Gorayeb.
A rare smile at that.
I wonder what types of huddles we will hear from him.
I'm excited for that. Yep.
Service in Rivera with a tough receive. De La Cruz blocked. Ball sent through. Unfortunately, it went out for Capital One.
Ball's out. We're tied at 7.
Now in the front row, we did mention this earlier. The last time we saw her play was UAP season 85.
Been that long.
Service, Akaro.
But I did ask her during the combine, how did you mentally prepare? Because physically, she's fit as well. There's muscle there, but it's more of the mental aspect of the game that's far more important. And she said she just breathed. She took her time with things. She didn't rush things. And I think that's the best part of moving forward, I think.
Add to that is her good attitude of wanting to learn here in the PVL. Battle at the net. Almost a point for Julia Ipak. A push by Ivy Laxina, but yeah, she stepped on the line.
Illegal
And so,
back row
that's going to
attack
break the
for
deadlock,
Laxina.
and that's going to send us to our first technical timeout. 8-7 in favor of the Solar Spikers.
Akari.
Back inside the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City with Oli Ocaro and the rest of the Akari Chargers taking on the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Marina Tushova and these blue shirts are off to a good start.
And
It seems like they're a different team this time around.
More refreshed, and of course I have to give credit to Iris Tolenada. Coach Chargers has such high regard for her. She's the mature veteran that is needed for a young team like this. She takes control, and if you notice, Migs, she talks to everyone after each point, and that's a sign of a true leader.
Well, Marina Tushova will add on to that, will agree
Yes,
to
of
it.
course.
As she has experienced in their practice games and in their training sessions. Service in for Gretzel Soltones from the middle. Ipak blocked by Domingo. Tolenada, back row hit. Dug up by Gretzel. Here's Oli. Not much power there. Good chance to counter. Rivera to the opposite. De La Cruz outside.
There, check on that.
Apparently not.
Nope.
And no challenges so far.
I think they're saving it.
Well, it is early. 9-8.
See Leila Cruz still adjusting a bit to the timing as well with Iris Tolenada.
It is different when you play an actual game compared to your tune-up games. Tolenada, back set. Will this be it? Not yet for Leila. Michkov, now to the open. Laxina, quite low. And that's 4 touches.
Low contact coming from Ivy Laxina, who is trying to go down the line.
It's a tight game.
Yep.
9-all in set
close.
number 1. This is only the second game for today. Later on, the Chocomusho Flying Titans will look to give Dina Wong a birthday gift with a victory if they can against the Signal HD Spikers. Michkov, back row hit. That's low for Oli Ocaro.
Another low contact coming from Oli from that back row as well.
Julia Ipak will now take her turn serving. We have some players at the sideline. Actually, some team owners, Mandy Romero and Milka Romero, present. You see, they look so young that they can qualify as players in the PVL.
They fooled you, Migs.
10-all in set number 1. Said Domingo.
Serving for the Chargers.
Good serve.
Service inside. Tolenada, quite tight there.
Adjust.
Yeah, Alvarez touched the net. Great reaction with Michkov.
11, serving 10.
11-10 is the tally. We're exchanging leads in set number 1.
Seesaw battle here, but Capital1 looking very sharp early on in this first set.
This could be a quick statement game for them.
Set.
Down the line target, almost worked. One more, Clemente, able to hammer it through.
See a misconnection coming from Sed Domingo and Ivy Laxina. Those are some things that just happens in action here. Beautiful set, again, coming from Iris.
On the rebound, that
yep.
was a clear look.
Clemente being aggressive at the net.
Why don't we give props for the efforts of those two players? Back row hit. Good read by Alvarez. Back row on the other end. Yeah, it was low. On the contact for Marina to Shoba.
A bit too low as well. Lack of wrist action as well. We have not seen a successful back row attack so far coming from both teams. Well, there you have Coach Roger.
I wonder what's going through his mind right now.
I think I could read his mind.
I'm sure he is giving his players some time to adjust.
Of course, still the
Only
first game,
halfway
of
done.
course.
Halfway done in the first set of that. Now it is a point for Akari.
13-11.
This could be an opening for them to pull away.
But of course, Migs, it's we're seeing the Pool B games today, and of course, this is the first game for each team. So you got to reel out all the mishaps here. So when we lead to the semifinals, the quarterfinals, those are all gone by the time.
To remind everybody, as that was a tough chase for Iris
Good
Tolenada,
hustle.
we have a very complicated tournament format as Ivy Laxina scores. If you want a recap of it, you can just rewind the tape of this game. Jamie took her time breaking down the tournament format in our pregame.
But Ivy Laxina, you see the block of Capital One a bit late as well. That was a triple block at that.
You have a timeout.
Reception, ilan na? Service, ilan na? Dalawa na kaagad. Hindi pwede, patapos na yung laro. Kailangan habulin nyo ng habulin yan. Hindi nyo pahirapan yung setter natin. Tina-target ka eh. May tina-target tayo sa kanila. Sila naman, ikaw ang tina-target. I-receive lang naman eh. Mahina lang naman yung service. Kaya ma-pressure masyado doon sa ano niya. Sa service.
Hey, we're all ready, cover. Let's set up. We're okay. Compose, compose. Hey, Capital!
All eyes on Shola Alvarez would look to get some retribution as the target, apparently, of Akari with her services.
That is the strategy of Akari, but the receive is not in the perfect spot for Iris Tolenada. And she did say, don't worry about it. That is the role of a setter. You can always expect a perfect receive because the service receive is one of the hardest skills to master in volleyball.
14-11, and Mitch Cobb is quite a good server, by the way.
We all know this.
Alvarez, cross-court, Danny Ravena with the dig, and here's Ivy Laxina. That goes down.
Ivy Laxina continuously going for that cross-court attack. Danny Ravena getting that perfect up here. Michelle Cobb with that perfect set. This is the teamwork that I'm liking so far from the Akari Chargers because in previous tournaments, conferences, at that a little bit shaky starts, but you see more consistency today.
Now they're starting to pull away at 15-11. Clemente is blocked by Victoria. Alvarez blocked again. This is a chance ball. Mitch Cobb onto the middle. Camille couldn't score. Counter through Marina. Dropping it. Read well by the Chargers. Laxina onto the back row. Back to the net. There was a touch. It's by Iris Tolenada.
The net touch from Iris as she went for that 1-2 place.
We now have our second technical time on Akari, looking to pull away. The Akari Chargers now have found their groove, up by 5 in set number 1, 16-11. Jamie did mention that before they had the tendency to start quite slow, but at least now they're looking better. There's Miss Kathy Chu of Akari, looking very focused at the sideline. Now, we did see a lot of changes in the offseason for the Chargers. Mitch Cobb is the center right now for them, as you get to see Mosey Ravenna as well. Tito Mose, big shout out to you.
Capital 1, 15 now.
Her daughter Dani is now wearing black and pink, by the way.
That's right. And also Camille, Victoria, Dani, Ravenna were, of course, on the next set chameleons before this. We still not have seen Steph Bustrilia. We could see her warming up, hoping to play.
This would be her first PVL stint. Clemente, slide, did not work. Push to the opposite. Marina with a dig. Tolenada, back to Marina. Had to recalculate. Chance ball for Akari. Back set, Okaro, dropped. Good defense right there by Capital 1. Another chance though. Laxina off the touch.
See the Capital 1 having a difficult time blocking the attacks of Ivy Laxina. Earlier she was going for that cross-court attack, but beautiful pancake save here from Iris Tolenada. But you can see that Ivy Laxina switched direction going down the line. And you can see that Capital 1 has not switched rotations yet. They've been in this rotation for quite some time.
The lead has ballooned on to 6 points, 17-11. Tolenada. Team captain Jorel Singh denied. The run continues.
Jorel Singh now one of the veterans here being subbed in for the Capital 1 Solar Spikers.
She was their leading scorer in their previous conference with a total of 79 points. Now we have a timeout for Coach Roger.
Saan nyo dadalhin yung bola? Dito, alam ko na. Dito napunta yung bola, dito ko dadalhin. Sumunod sa depensa, pare-parehas kayo nandito sa dulo. Hindi man kayo makaabot doon. Sumunod sa depensa, sa linya. Ayaw naman na nagbibigay ng punto sa kanila. Dami nating error eh. Na-block, may coverage. Ano, yo, ang papadaanin ng bola. Kung wala mapagdadaanan, pwede naman natin i-drop. Sige.
Jamie, talk to me about the net defense that you're witnessing from Akari.
Well, you could see that the Akari Chargers did their assignment. They know the tendencies of their opponent. But as for Capital 1, at the start of this first set, they were doing well, Migs, but they're having a difficult time sustaining that momentum. They need one spiker to be that one stop to get that instant, immediate side out. Let's see if Jorel Singh can add that for her squad.
It's a service ace for the Chargers. What a run.
That's a smart placement serve coming from Michelle Cobb. A short serve at that, finding that open space. You had to see Rika Rivera diving for that serve. But now we have Roma Dormal fielded in.
Let's see if the Atenista can counter the serve of the Lasallian. That's
Side,
another service ace for Mitch Cobb.
Michelle Cobb a bit in shock. It's rare to have two service aces in a row, but that serve did drop behind Roma Dormal.
Mitch Cobb has 3 total service aces already. That's why you're not seeing a smile now from Coach Roger's face.
And Coach Roger did mention in the timeout, Migs, that they are actually giving points to Akari.
That's outside. Boy, breath of relief for Marina Tusoma. And now we have Camille Cal checking in for the first time as a member of the Chargers.
And this is not a double sub mix. This is actually just a solo sub.
Team captain.
Let's see, we'll have Coach Taka having Camille be that finisher here in the first set.
20-12. Cal to the open. Blocked. Good defense by Iris Tolenada and Des Clemente. And this is a chance ball. A lot of time. Tolenada onto Marina. Yes!
It's a perfect set coming from Iris Tolenada. That's almost a shoot set near the pin, giving that perfect hitting point for Marina.
Is that the best
They need more
hit
of that.
so far?
Yes, they need more of that. That's the set that she likes, that shoot set. And the block is late as well from Akari.
20-13 for retribution. Ivy Laxina from the right pin.
Samantha, a bit too far in terms of that blocking formation. Ivy Laxina, yet again, finding that open space, that window for Capital One.
She's a woman who is comfortable already attacking from wherever.
21.
As now, we have Shirley Salamagos checking in for the first time. The product of Arellano University. 21-13. Ivy is now at the back row. That's a service error.
Akari has a bit of a cushion here in this first set.
That's only the second service error for the Chargers, matching the total of Capital One in terms of service errors. But the Solar Spikers have more unforced errors. Danny Ravenna, Camille Cal, Oli Okaro couldn't score. Marina going cross, nice dig by Gretzel Soltones. Push now. Cruz, back row for Jarel. The rally continues. Danny, back to the right. It's Marina's turn. Blocked.
Perfect timing with Victoria and Ollie. Perfect press as well. Marina a bit too trapped in this sequence there. Had a difficult time avoiding that block.
That net defense has stood tall versus the Solar Spikers in set number 1. It's now 22, serving 14. Camille Victoria, sharp serve. That's an over-receive. Regalo para kay Gretzel Soltones.
Early gift for Gretzel, taking advantage of that over-receive coming from Marina, but also great serve as well from Akari.
Gretzel made it look so easy as she celebrates. That's why Oli Okaro loves playing with this Akari squad, the energy that just radiates among the team. 23-14, Marina from the open. Dug up by Camille Victoria. Soltones, it's Oli, blocked. And that's a point for the blue shirts.
Julia Ipak in the front row. And also Marina, perfect timing on that press, on that block on Oli. But you can see here the score mix so far, 15-23. Capital One needing to shake things up a bit.
For the Solar Spikers.
Let's see if they can pull off a big-time run. Nice serve by Iris Tolinada.
Perfect serve in between zone 1 and zone 2, targeting Danny Ravenna.
Beautifully
Almost looked
placed.
like it was going to go outside as well.
It was that sharp. Iris again. Danny with a receive. Okaro couldn't score. Good effort by Doromal. Marina blocked. No coverage present.
Turn back.
And of course, who's on the other side of that net? Said Domingo. We all know her from her previous team. Perfect blocking. This is what she is known for, but no coverage for Capital One.
If you would look at the team sheet of Akari, there's something written in bold. It says Finals MVP for Said Domingo.
Low
How
key
can we forget
flex.
about
No
that?
big deal. No big deal.
That's one set point save for Solar Spikers off of that service error. Will need a lot of good vibes and efficient play. They would want to score 7 straight points.
Serving for Capital One.
Marina Tushova.
Good serve.
Camille to the open. Soltones is blocked.
That's the first block for Layla Cruz. So much joy, so much excitement here. Take a look at this replay.
That's her first PVL point
Yep.
with her defense. Oh, that's it for set number 1. A service error for Marina Tushova.
Well, Akari looking well so far in this first set. Not as many unforced errors compared to their previous conferences, but for Capital One, needing to polish it up a bit.
We'll give you the exact numbers later on. 25-18 in set number 1. It was quite tight at the start of set number 1. We saw 6 deadlocks and 4 lead changes, but by the second half of set 1, there was a pull away by the Akari Chargers.
That's right. With Akari Chargers, you see a different team, a refreshed team this first match. Not a lot of unforced errors, but with Capital 1 Migs, they had a good start, but they had a difficult time sustaining their momentum. Now, in terms of their offense, a lot of their attacks, for example, from Marina Tushova, from Jarrell Singh, from Shola Alvarez, were all being blocked, and there was also no coverage on the side of Capital 1. And Iris as well was running everywhere because of their service receive. But for Akari, better blocking, better choices of setting coming from Michelle Cobb.
Even though some plays did not register block points, they really just were able to dismantle the offense of Capital 1. There you see the numbers.
You see the attacks here. Only 6 coming from Capital 1 and 8 from Akari. But take a look at the errors of Capital 1. They committed 11 errors. And that is what Coach Charger did mention earlier in his timeout. They're actually giving 3 points to Akari. And as for Akari, they are also earning their points at that. So it's double for them. But with Capital 1 this second set, let's see, Migs, if they are able to be a bit more consistent. Maybe Iris needs to switch and maybe set a bit more to the middle blockers if there's receive. So let's see how this second set will pan out.
Well, that would make Marina Tushova's life a lot easier for sure if they could activate the middle blockers. Right now, it's Shirley Salamagos on the floor for them. And in terms of errors, of those 11, 3 came from the service line for the Solar Spikers. Alvarez will send that ball inside. This is Oli Okaro, blocked. That's basically a check.
That's also good timing this time from Salamagos in this block, but a little lack of press at that, but easy side out so far from Akari.
Ivy Laxina will now be serving on her first game as a Charger in the PVL. That was low.
A bit too low. The toss is a bit too low as well.
The same thing happened in set number 1.
Not used to seeing her with that jump serve as well.
Well, it's never too late for a change, as we know.
Something new.
Surely
She would know about change.
Why not?
By the way, I did talk about her dreams a while ago before this game, as there was a missed receive for Akari. And the ultimate dream is for her to play overseas as well. So, you know, she could build her stock here in the Philippines. If she does it, she will go up against taller players in other countries. She might even go up against the Marinas and the Ollies of the world. As now we go to Alexis Tinsay.
And Jamie, another fun fact, do you know that Marina Tushova grew up not being able to smile, not being allowed to smile during all her playing years back in Russia? And actually just last season, she was told to keep her emotions to herself. This is how Russians do it. But here, she said Filipinos are the opposite. May ingay, may kulit, may iyakan yung kulturang Pinoy. Now happy to be able to showcase a variety of emotions through the dynamics of the match. Expect both a smile and a roar from Marina in today's set 2. This report is brought to you by the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for 149 pesos per month and watch via PilipinasLive.com and experience PVL games live in HD and commercial-free anytime and anywhere in the world. Back to you, Mix and Jamie.
That's a nice report by Alexis. Can you imagine?
No, I
not
cannot.
Smiling?
I cannot.
That must feel weird as she transitions to the Philippines.
Right. Being restricted to show your emotions, but at least she's here. She did mention that it's the opposite.
She's required to be happy in the Philippines as you get to see that attack by Oli Okaro.
Another beautiful swing as well. Shola Alvarez a bit too backwards in that sequence.
It's 3 serving 2. Okaro with a sharp serve. Doromal with the first ball. And it's Leila Cruz will give up a chance ball. Mitch Cobb to Sid Domingo.
This is what I'm liking from the setting of Michelle Cobb. She's activating the middle blockers a lot more compared to her previous conferences, because when you activate the middle, the wings as well, it actually fools the blockers of Capital 1.
Makes me wonder, once Fifi Sharma returns for Akari, it might not be in this conference, might not be in the next conference as well. But it's going to be very interesting in terms of their dynamic. As Cobb Sets it up to Gretzel. Nice save by Iris. Doromal. It's Marina again. Ball up by Oli. Gretzel Soltones. Off speed. Tolenada. Shola from the back. Oli saving it. That's a pipe attack. Nice save by Iris Tolenada. Unfortunately, Marina could not send it through.
So these are the miscues that are bound to happen, of course. This is the first game for Capital One, but I'm loving the effort I'm seeing. And also, a lot of the back row attacks are being executed with these intervals, and it's working just fine.
5 serving 2 now. Oli Okaro, an opposite spiker for the Akari Chargers, doing the honors. That goes inside. Alvarez with the first ball. A chase for Iris. That was tough for the center.
Good hustle yet again coming from Iris Tolenada. Coach Roger not too happy with what he's seeing. And makes to think in the first set, the first part of the first set, it was neck and neck. It was 11-all, 9-all. But this is what happens when you have a new team, a brand new squad. But this is where the patience, of course, comes into play.
6-2 now. Doromal got to receive. This is Marina. That was quite low, but there was a touch apparently. No challenge, so the play continues. Mitch to the open. Soltones down the line.
Beautiful. Soltones.
Michelle Cobb knowing who to set at the right time. Take a look at this sequence. Julia Ipak a bit too late. Marina as well needs to have that right side step near that antenna. Very tricky when you have Gretchel as well in the front row.
Of course. She's been very crafty since her young days as an MVP herself. A better receive for Iris. Marina. That drops. Finally from Marina to Shoba.
Now that's the setting that Marina does like. Not too high, not too low. Ollie a bit too late in the reaction here. Almost there.
5 points now for Marina to Shoba. She's the leading scorer of Capital 1. But the overall leading scorer is Ivy Laxina with 6 points so far. Shoba setting it in. Domingo, hang in the air. Nice save by Roma May Doromal. Set again to no avail. Doromal, Marina, back row, blocked. Good chance for Akari. A push into zone number 5. Doromal very active. Akari back to Sed. Touch or not.
Set a bit too
Capital
low.
One.
Yep, set a bit too low. That is the third time that Michelle Cobb has gone to Sed Domingo. Sed and Michelle Cobb still having to adjust, still trying to find that connection.
She really was the option on that sequence for Akari.
The main option.
4-7 to Shoba. Service in, received by Ivy. Oli, deflected. Iris. Shola. Cross court, Danny with a dig. Oli again pushing, that's out.
A bit too strong.
That goes long. 5.
Oli Okaro with a nice smile on her face, saying sorry to her teammates.
Ollie also not ready for that back row attack.
It's 5-7. This is a good mini run by Capital One. The biggest lead was 5 in the set. Set Domingo, finally.
Domingo.
See Michelle Cobb with that
technical
sigh
timeout.
of relief.
Akari. 5.
And that will send us to our first technical timeout in set number 2. Akari leads the way against Capital 1. 1 set to love and 8-5 in set number 2. We did see a mini
Into the
run
first technical time
from Roma May Doromal and company, but
Yep.
Akari got a latest point. Let's see if Capital 1 can actually respond. There you see Steph Bostrillo, a rookie in the PVL. She was selected number 6 in the draft. That was in the first round. De La Cruz was number 2, much to her surprise actually.
Serving for the
And
Chargers.
Roma Doromal was number 14 overall.
And I love how Coach Chargers implementing them early on. Of course, Leila Cruz already starting for this match.
Well, they were high caliber in
Yep.
their UAAP days. Akaro dug up by Doromal. This is Shola Alvarez, an MVP herself, unable to score. Set is down. This is concerning. Okay. She's able to stand up. She's able to walk. you just saw the reactions of her teammates. The
Let's see
arena was
how.
silenced.
Yep.
Okay, a minor tweak inside actually, going inside. She's limping but only a bit. There you go, that's what you usually do. You tighten your shoelaces. And the thing is, as a middle blocker, she will continue to jump. So it's replay. That's the ruling of our first referee. Iris Solenada just needed to have some clarity about it. But being the leader of Capital 1,
No points.
she will move on quickly.
Gretchen
course.
Soltones, serve.
Gretzel Soltones. Service in. Marina was the target. Chance ball, Akari. Mitch Cobb. 1-2.
smart.
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
1-2 play.
This is the
9,
first
7,
1-2 play here from Michelle Cobb. Smart play from that free ball. Roma Alvarez as well, not reading that early on.
Soltones.
A light tap
Yeah.
coming from Cobb.
It's like a layup
Yep,
in basketball
a mini
terms. 9-5. Back row for Marina. Danny, Ivy. Nice dig by Iris. Roma May. Now it's
Good
Leila
play.
Cruz with her
Yep.
first attack point.
Beautiful dig coming from Iris. Nice bump set as well coming from Roma.
The spike of the set is brought to you by Dunkin, pasalubong ng bayan, and it's brought to you by the returning players in the landscape of Philippine volleyball, Leila Cruz. I hope that everybody hasn't forgotten about her. Push to the open. Laksina got a deflection. Tolinada, back row for Marina. Laksina again, drop, yes.
With Ivy Laksina with that height delaying that drop ball. Take a look at this, changing it mid-air, changing direction, changing speed, fooling the defense of Capital 1. I think that's just the perk of being tall as
Yeah.
well, Migs.
The tallest open spiker as a local
Yep.
in the PVL. Said Domingo, service in. Ooh, almost an ace. Chance ball. A lot of time for Mitch. Back row push. Yep, that was long for Denzel Dolores.
So another strong set as well going outside.
Now we have team captain Jarel Singh returning.
15 now.
And there you see
3.
first-time head coach for Akari, Taka Minoa,
Minoa.
going up against a veteran in Philippine volleyball, Roger Gurayev. Leila Cruz from Malabon will now be serving.
Serving for the Solar Spikers.
Overseeing a drop for Shirley. That was inside.
Inside, according to the up ref. Take a look exactly where that tip was.
Quite tight, but
Very close.
Capital 1 will gladly take it. 8-10. They're closing in once more. Gretzel receives. Mitch. Back row.
Ooh, good
nice
up.
dig. At the middle, Iris with a nice push. Ivy Laksina cross court. Roma made
Beautiful.
Doromal off to a great start. Jarel Singh Tried to play it sharp to no avail. Oli Okaro, deflection. Marina keeping it alive. Now she attacks. Way under.
Ball is out.
That does go outside, but talk about the defense of Roma Doramal. I'm liking the defense so far, the teamwork. It's just the execution on the attacking.
Gotta be happy for her.
Michelle Cobb,
Especially
team
her
captain.
transition from being a leader
Serving for
to being a
Akari.
rookie in the PVL. But the thing is, when you were a leader before, it shapes up your attitude already.
Of course, and your maturity as well. And now being in the PVL, you are actually forced to mature because you're alongside a lot of veterans as well.
Jorel Singh block, coverage present. Bit of a miscue. Chance ball, Akari. Mitch, back to Okaro. Touch or not?
Ball is out.
Apparently not.
That one did sail super outside, nearing the chairs here in Phil Sports. But we did see this in the first set, Migs. 9 versus 11. A very close first and second set. So let's see who will be able to sustain this and finish it off.
9-11. Jorel Singh at the back row. Service inside. Danny Ravenna with the first ball. Okaro again for retribution.
Now this is where the blocking of Iris and Salamagos come into play. They're having a difficult time with that press here. Take a look here. They're actually far from the net. They need to be a little bit closer to that net.
Serving for Akari.
Ivy Laksina will now be serving. She ought to be careful with that jump serve that went inside. Slide, Shirley, yes! We haven't seen too much of that in this game.
There's not a lot of opportunities actually for Capital One to establish the middle blockers, but Iris Talanada knowing who to set at the right time. The middle of Akari a bit too late as well, not reading that early on.
There's actually great anticipation by the Solar Spikers on that slide by Shirley Salamagos. They truly trusted that attack. Unfortunately, it's now a service error.
Now these are the unforced errors that Coach Roger, of course, any coach does not want, especially with a tight match in the second set.
13-10. Camille Victoria will now be serving.
For the Chargers.
Former UST player. Sharp serve at the net. Iris Talanada almost scored. This is a chance ball. A great opportunity. Can they capitalize? Not yet. Victoria.
Too tight.
That went overboard.
Camille Victoria going for that second touch, that second set, a bit too tight to the liking of her spikers.
Well, it usually is a big challenge when a middle blocker is setting.
Yes, it's not their best skill set at that.
For the Solar Spikers.
Iris
Love the
Talanada.
effort though, of course.
Yes.
Good serve.
Ivy, first ball. Okaro, cross court, dug up by Iris Talanada. Leila, give up a chance. Mitch to send, no.
Bit too low.
I didn't cross.
Capital One closing in.
Well, we know the vertical of Set Domingo is very high. The set of Michelle Cobb is a bit too low to the liking of Set Domingo. This is the second time that this has happened, but we have seen it improve.
Yep.
She had a beautiful quick attack earlier. We just need more consistency from that.
A chance to tie for Capital One. Soltones, cross court, dug up by Roma May.
Good set.
Talanada, Marina. With a late reaction, but still saved by Danny. Chance ball. Iris back to the open. Marina blocked.
Shova turned back.
The blocking of Akari is on point. They know where Marina is going for that cross-court attack. Of course, you have Set Domingo and Ollie in the front row. You have to somehow avoid that block, go for that drop, for that tip. Avoid the hand of the blocker.
That was key for them in set number 1. Can they be consistent at it here in set number 2? Here's Set Domingo, formerly the Creamline Crew Smashers. She had so much chemistry with Gia Morado de Guzman.
Mastered that.
Now it's a service ace for Akari.
Scores 15.
Targeting Roma Doramal at that. That floater looked like it was actually going out, especially if the serve is above your shoulders.
Yes.
Most likely it's going outside.
10, Madrigal.
15 to 12, there's a rookie. She is off to a good start though.
Yes. She had
Roma
beautiful
May.
digs earlier.
I did get clarification, by the way, that she wants to be called
Service.
completely
Akari.
Roma May,
Okay.
not just Roma.
I stand corrected.
Because,
Roma May, her sister, of course.
I actually had a different perspective before. I thought she wanted Roma, but there you go. There's the clarification. As now we proceed, Tolenada
Good set.
on 2.
Good set.
Julia Ipa.
No, Migs, I was a teammate of Julia Ipak back in 2021. And this is actually her specialty, that running attack going down the line. Now, if Capital One had good receive, better defense, Iris can implement
Yeah,
the middle blockers a bit more.
that was Bali Pure, right?
Yes, you remember.
A
Yep.
throwback for us.
Back in 2021.
13-15, Marina Tushova.
Good serve.
Sultanes, a tough receive, a chase for Mitch. Chance ball given up. Iris onto the middle. Julia Ipak almost scored. Sultanes
Smart.
playing it sharp. Normal. Clear. Marina. Touch. There's a point.
You can see the Capital One Solar Spikers slowly gelling here in this second set. That is the height that Marina likes in terms of that back row attack. That beautiful bump set coming from Roma May. Ezra almost there, but a lack of press in that sequence.
Sharp serve. A chance to tie. Okaro. Tough dig at the middle. That's going to be an easy one for Ezra Madrigal.
Smart play by Ezra, taking advantage of that early gift from Capital One.
16,
Former star of San
Capital
Beda.
One.
Sorry, it was Far Eastern University. Read that wrong. You have a technical timeout, 16-14. Back inside the Field Sports Arena in Pasig City for day number 2 of our PVL Reinforced Conference. This follows 2 5-setters that we had last Tuesday.
Right.
The PVL day ended at 11 p.m. It was that magical for our return. Earlier today, there was a victory by Petrogas against Zeus Coffee. And then later on, Chocomucho will take on Signal HD. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Jamie La Victoria, the former Bali Pure player.
Thank you, Mix.
You've been around. And we also have Alexis Tinsay returning to the PVL. Tolenada. Ooh, that was too high. Let's go back to Alexis.
17.
Mix and Jamie, like what you noticed, the foe's eyes are on Shola Alvarez, who is enjoying her first in here in Capital One. Being added to the team, she says it was an easy transition given that she was already under Coach Roger during her PLDT high-speed hitter days. Shola in High Energies told me we should expect a bigger fighting spirit within the Solar Spikers because they've already had the first season to learn about the other teams. This season is about making an impact and ensuring a win. Di man perfect at araw-araw may pinipilit, these adjustments are made to mark a big change in their game. And this is what they just did para makahabol this set 2. You guys saw it. Back to you, Migs and Jamie.
The lead is down to 2 points, 15-17. That's some great managed expectations for Capital One. After all, it takes time for a team to adjust in the PVL.
Good set.
Laksina tried to go cross. That's dug up by Ipak. Marina from the back. Outside.
A bit too far out there for that back row attack, but you can see that the back row attacks for both squads are being implemented a bit more because there's a reinforcement there in the back row. But you can see a better look here for Capital One mix compared to their previous conferences, of course. A refreshed look at that.
And by the way, anytime we have a reinforced conference, the reinforcement really is such a big factor.
Yes.
They can win games.
That's right.
For their squad, even though you're a lower seeded team in the standings. 19-15, we have a timeout.
I'm out. Capital One.
I told you, she's having a hard time. Ang dami naman natin eh. You're 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Offensively. So pwede tayong magbigay doon. Huwag lang sa kanya ng sa kanya. Nape-pressure na siya eh. Try to recover.
Sobrang ko, I can hold that.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's go! Capital! One!
It is 19-15. Alexis was just talking about how Capital One was able to pull off a comeback, but you wouldn't want to give that away.
That's right.
There is Marina Tushova, who didn't even know how to speak English before she went to Switzerland.
So she's still adjusting for sure.
Yeah. Well, she's had her experiences in Switzerland and France before being in the Philippines. So now there's a point for Capital One.
16-19.
It's a beautiful swing coming from the right pin this time of Layla Cruz. You can see she's slowly easing her way into, of course, the game of volleyball being now in the PVL. So far, so good.
We're just happy to have her back.
Yes.
An ACL injury is no joke. 19-16, push from the middle. No good on the rebound for Camille Victoria.
Camille Victoria trying to push the ball over yet again. Middle blockers tend to do that. Konting gigil, I would say.
Everything's happening so fast while you're mid-air. 17, serving 19. Layla Cruz against Danny Ravenna. To the net.
For the Chargers.
Can't afford to have these service errors, especially at this point.
It's a very close second set at that, but better performance in this first set with Capital One.
Serving for Akari.
Mitch Cobb. Now this could be the deadliest part of Akari's rotation. With her serving.
Good
Nice receive by Roma May
Good set.
Doromal.
Perfect set.
Jarrell Singh almost crossed. Bit of a scramble. This is Ivy Laksina. Oh, she played it smart. Or was it unintentional after all?
Let's see this replay here. Danny Ravenna getting that first contact, but a shorter attack coming from Ivy Laksina to her own surprise.
Exactly. We have a timeout.
Hindi yan lalapit sa'yo eh. Nakita mong open, walang boom lang. Tapos nakaabang ka lang. Anong naabangan mo dun? Eh, nandyan yung bola. Nandito lang yung bola. Nandito pa. Diba? Dapat magpusa na. Ganun, malaki yung block mo. Ano pwedeng ipagdiinan? Sabi ko nga sa'yo, maging matalino ka. Eh, with the 6, ano na height mo? 6'4", 6'3", 6'2". Ikaw.
Suportahan natin ang mga atletang Pilipino sa Paris Olympics this 2024. Watch the games live from July 26. Malapit na yan. And that will move over to August 11 on One Sports Plus, RPTV, TV5, and Filipinas Live app. Sandaang taong laban para sa bayan. Sorry, let me change that. 100 taong laban para sa bayan. Big shout out to our athletes in the Olympics.
Capital One.
18-21. Could this be the opening for Capital One in set number 2?
There is a chance here in the second set compared to the first set, that huge gap.
Danny Ravenna with the first ball. Okaro blocked. And that's a point again for the blue shirts.
Ball is in.
A much-needed side out for Capital1 Solar Spikers. Take a look at this replay here. Iris with that block. Two players going for that first one.
Either way, it's their point. Jarrell Singh, service inside. Okaro, blocked again. How about the net defense of Capital1?
Now we witnessed this earlier. Salamagos and Tolenada having a difficult time going up against Ollie, but this time blocking it right when it matters.
2021, Camille Cal is back in. She seems to really have that role.
The finisher.
The finisher setter.
Not the easiest roles, of course.
Camille onto Ivy Laxina. A chase, no more for Jarrell Singh.
Now with the cross court.
Much needed side out for the Akari Chargers. That attack actually looked like it was going outside. Let's see the location of that attack.
Substitution.
But Layla Cruz making that effort.
Out 9 instead.
We always say that when you're in doubt, just put the ball up.
Just put the ball up.
22 serving 20.
Serving for Akari.
Ravenna Andrea Instrella, by the way, is in now for Capital1. Tolenada, 1-2. Almost worked. Okaro, blocked again.
No entry.
Iris Tolenada is feeling it.
21.
Perfect press on that block. Marina and Iris. Perfect timing as well. And those are the blocks that are actually difficult to cover as well because it's so fast.
21 serving 22. The Solar Spikers actually haven't led in this set. Over receive at the net. Violation, Camille Cal.
This is a tricky call here.
We haven't had a challenge, by the way.
Coach Taka saying that there was an overreach, but I think they're not going to do a challenge on that. Yep, you're right, Migs. No challenges so far.
Sanamagos.
This is the third deadlock in set number 2. Can Capital1 finally get the advantage? Tough dig. Tolenada have to backtrack for that one. Estrella could not score. The counter with Gretzel. Soltones will score.
You need that side out. Of course, you have to lean to the veteran spiker in Gretzel Soltones. Smart move coming from Camille Victoria to set her right behind
Camille Victoria.
Gretzel hasn't had many attempts in this game. 3 points, but she's been contributing on both ends.
Yep.
Marina receiving. Will she get it back? The answer is yes. No point at the net. No violation. The play continues. Scramble. This is a chance ball. Oh, miscue. My goodness.
Iris Tolenada on point with that third contact. Just babying it over.
We're tied at 23.
An absolute
Perfect.
hole at the middle. And there you see Coach Roger Gorayeb with a celebration at the sideline. They just gave us another deadlock. 23-all, the virtual race to 2 in set number 2. Ball up by Ivy. Laxina will attack. That is outside. Set point, Capital1.
Ball is out.
Everything going in their favor so far, Migs.
They've been catching up since the start of the set. Timeout, Coach Taka.
setting point early, if you try to cover, but for sure they also attention hold out early. So it's okay to outside hit our middle blocker. Okay, now one side out. Have a patience. If it's not good setting, rebound, do it again. Okay? 1 point tayo, 1 point tayo.
Guys, dito tayo magtitest ha. Yung tibay natin nasa team ha. Tibay lang. Tibay lang. Kay Akari Chargers! Cover kay Ali! Cover!
Ito na. Matitest ang tibay ng Akari. bilang isang kupunan sa PVL. Gretzel Soltones had to remind that to her teammates. They led by as many as 5 points in this set. This is actually the first lead of Capital1 in set number 2.
And you could see Iris Tolenada being that leader, much needed veteran leader for their squad as well as Jarrell Singh. Everything working in their favor.
To equalize. Service inside. Gretzel Soltones dug up by Doromal. Marina, deflection. Ravenna keeping it alive. Camille Cal, Soltones. The ball hasn't dropped. Chance ball, Akari. Overdug. Ooh, somebody touched the net.
It was a net touch.
It's Marina who touched it.
They're going to call a challenge.
I'm looking at the reaction of Marina Tushova. She's staying silent. Iris Tolenada ran to her coach.
Everything went so fast,
Yes.
mid-air, with Marina in the air. Very crucial at that, Migs, because of the timing of this second set.
Challenge on the floor by
First challenge of the match, of the day.
At set point.
challenge 3, net fall, Capital1.
Boy, what a set number 2 for us. And again, this could be a quick statement by Capital1 in our reinforced conference. Let's see the replay. Yep, that was Marina Tushova.
Yep, it's a net touch, an evident net touch.
It actually made sense that Marina stayed quiet
Yes.
after the whistle was blown. But it got tricky for a while because Alexis did tell us that Marina did not show emotions before.
It's the acting for me. It's the acting.
Chargers.
24 all, an extended set number 2. Oli Okaro doing the honors.
Oli
The crowd is feeding it inside the Field Sports Arena in day number 2. Service. Oh, that was almost out. Tolenada pushes to
Beautiful set.
Marina. Down the line. At the net. It's a drop for Julia Ipa.
The intensity of this match, Migs. But Capital1 coming together, playing as a team. Beautiful sets coming from Iris Tolenada. But that attack from Julia Ipak is also very tricky because it was also near the net. Court awareness as well.
Set point, Capital1, 25-24. Camille Cal, back set. Okaro misses a chance. Tolenada. Ooh, a miscue. Push to zone 1. Akari Stern. Gretzel. Soltones puts it away.
Hold on. 25 all.
You mentioned this earlier. Soltones being that finisher, going down the line, in between that block of Marina. But there was also a miscue coming from Capital1 with that back row attack.
Gretzel Soltones has done it so many times in her volleyball career. Can she deliver once again in the clutch? Jorel Singh, nice hit at the net. Ipak almost prevailed. Ravenna, Laksina dropping it. The rally continues. Marina from the back, dug up by Danny. Camille, Okaro. That's good for the Akari Chargers.
What a rally.
Now at set point.
All players coming together, but the Akari Chargers going for that back row attack of Ali. Lack of press on that block coming from Jarrell Singh.
Set point, the first in this set for the Chargers. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Good serve.
Tolenada had to chase that ball. Back set. That's outside for Estrella. And we will conclude set number 2 in favor of the Akari Chargers.
But I like the risk taking from Iris Tolenada going for that reverse set, going to Estrella, but better performance that I'm seeing from Capital1, but Akari Chargers knowing how to finish it.
Question is, can the trend continue to go up for Capital1? The same actually applies for Akari, 27-25 in set number 2. The second set of this match lasted for 38 minutes. But if you caught the last 5 to 8 minutes of that set, boy, it was amazing. Capital One played so well alongside the Akari Chargers. Gretzel Sotones basically challenged her teammates that this would be our test. This would define us as a squad in the PVL, and they definitely closed out well.
That's right, Migs. What a thrilling second set we had. The Capital One Solar Spikers did not win that second set, but we did see much improvement in the latter part. Salamagos, Iris Tolenada leading the way in the blocking department and knowing the patterns of the Spikers. But as for Akari, Migs, you did mention they were tested in that latter part, and it was that crucial timeout where Gretchen Sotones spoke up and eventually they did prevail. But here on your screens we have the set 2 stats, and take a look at the disparity of attacks. 9 from Capital One and 15 coming from Akari. 2 blocks for Capital One and only 1 from Akari. But Akari did have more errors, 4 more errors compared to Capital One. But if the Capital One Solar Spikers improve a bit on their attacking, they will prevail a bit more.
We've actually seen a ton of errors already in this game. It's a total of 22 for Capital One and 21 for Akari. Then again, it's their first appearance in the reinforced conference. An adjustment period to Marina Tushova, who, by the way, also told me that another one of her adjustments is to the crowd. The fact that there's overwhelming energy in the Phil Sports Arena. You can see more players at the sidelines. Sheena Turing joins us. Recently crowned as a champion.
That's right.
In the UAAP. There's a champion as well in Ivy Laxina back in season 84 when she played a different position. Gotta love her, just enjoying the moment. Brooke Van Sickle was the best player, by the way, of Petrogas when they won earlier today versus Suits Coffee. There's MJ Phillips. Petrogas basically is playing like they have 3 reinforcements.
I was just going to say that as well.
They're that good. There's another woman who's looking like a reinforcement. Iris Tolenado, by the way.
Stellar performance.
She just found the home.
Yes. And Coach Roger has so much trust in her. I did say this earlier. We did feature him during the PVL Combine, and he had only good things to say about Iris. And he mentioned that he doesn't have to worry about the setting department anymore. And when you have that unloaded off, your chest, it's less of a burden. Just knowing you have to focus on your spikers, your libero, but of course, setting is the key to winning as well.
I actually wonder if Iris Tolenada could be a cornerstone piece for them moving forward, because this is a franchise that is trying to establish itself in the PVL. And of course, even though you entertain changes from one conference to another, you want some stability inside as well. Thank you for joining us. That's a sharp serve by Sed Domingo.
Right.
This is Mix Gomez, by the way, with Jamie La Victoria and Alexis Tinsay. How about Marina Tushova? Off to a good start in set 3.
We're seeing some beautiful glimpses of the Capital One Solar Spikers. That set of Iris was also above the tape, almost like a shoot set. We did see this earlier coming from Marina. That is the liking of the set, that is the one that she likes.
Service inside for Shirley Salamagos. Back row for Okaro. Met at the net. Good defense by Capital One. Tushova. Could this be her time in this match?
In the third set, she is on fire so far. Back-to-back points. This time going for that cross-court attack. Targeting Danny Ravenna.
Maybe 2 sets is what she just needed after all.
Yes.
I'm sure Akari would want to respond. Ivy Laxina, that's the top scorer for the Chargers.
Good effort.
Almost there for Jarel Singh.
Good effort coming from the veteran.
Did you see her teammates?
Yes. They had to back her up. Yep.
Big shout out to the captain of Capital One and Jarel Singh.
Michelle Cobb, team captain.
1 serving 2, and we're back with Mitch Cobb. 6 excellent sets. I want to see her service aces. They actually retracted 1, so she has 2 so far in this match. Shova, Dani Ravenna. By the way, she's also been very active in this game. That's outside as Laksina went under the ball. And now, let's go to the sideline. The next is inside.
Mix and Jamie, you highlighted her a while ago. Good things come to those who wait. And for Mitch Cobb, their golden time is now. And as she said, it's been a few seasons where they've been at the same spot. Now is the chance to take a leap forward. And thankful for the reinforcement, Oli Okada is the one who did all the adapting to the Chargers, and it really did strengthen what they have now. Another center in their game is Kamoy Cal. And as she brings in the time and experience she's already had under Coach Taka, her playmaking was made easier given the maturity and prowess of her fellow veteran spikers. From center to another center, they're excited to bolster points for their wingers to set free, just like they did a while back. They can fight back against Capital One. This report is brought to you by the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for 149 pesos per month and watch via PilipinasLive.com. Back to you, Mix and Jamie.
Thank you, Alexis. It really is an interesting dynamic between Mitch Cobb and Camille Cal as Akari almost scored. Have you actually seen a rotation like that? Shova, by the way, is on a roll. Have you ever seen a rotation kung saan pumapasok na lang yung mga lamang center sa clutch?
It's very rare actually in the PVL. Normally when that actually happens, it's when the team is super down or super up and you want to switch the style. But I think that's the style of Coach Taka, having Camille Cal be that finisher after Michelle Cobb.
Service.
That's trust though to Camille Cal.
A lot of
pressure
trust.
is on though for her. 6-1. Cobb, Laksina.
What a swing.
Down the line, Laksina.
That's the type of swing kung saan, I'd like to say this in Tagalog, buwelo pa lang, alam mo na.
You know, from the approach, and to think that Ivy Laksina had 3 positions last year, middle blocker, opposite, and now open. Not the easiest.
I even asked her, is there actually another position that you think you could transition?
Maybe center.
Her answer was libero.
Wow.
Because if she does fulfill her dream playing overseas, she recognizes that she won't be as tall, relatively speaking. And so, being a libero might actually increase her chances.
She has to adjust.
Ball is out.
As for now, she will focus on being an outside hitter. Well, being an OH actually would develop your floor defensive skills.
Of course.
Victoria.
It's 3-7 in set number 3. Victoria. Service error. It's piling up.
A lot of unforced errors so far coming from Akari.
It's 8-3, a 5-point advantage for Capital One heading on to this technical timeout.
3, Akari. Substitution. Capital One. 21 out. 5. Clemente in.
Back inside the Field Sports Arena, Capital One is now enjoying its biggest lead in the game of 5 points, 8-3, off of the first technical timeout. Julia Ipak Serves that ball in. Received by Ivy Laksina. Akaro dropping that ball. Late whistle there, but Akari will take the point.
It's a slow start in this third set for Akari. Quite a few miscues, unforced errors. But this is a test, of course, if they can finish this match in 3 sets. But of course, Capital wanting to extend this match.
We've seen different trends, by the way, in this game. Because in set number 1, it was tight at the start.
Yes.
In set 2, Akari started well. And now it's Capital 1's turn. Akaro pushes.
Good set.
Jorel Singh cross court, dug up by Danny, who's been playing well. Gretzel Soltones, block, coverage by Ravena. Akaro again,
Ooh,
yes!
What a swing.
5.
Now, in this sequence, she was ready for that back row attack. But you see Michelle Cobbs set right in front of the 10-foot line, allowing Ollie to go for that broad jump. Smart play.
Ollie will be serving. That's back-to-back points for the Chargers after the technical timeout. Akaro setting it in. Marina as a target. Regalo. Para kay Seth Domingo. Is that another scary ball? Well, she's good to go. Sinalo siya ni Gretzel Soltones.
Gotta back up your teammate.
How about that? 3 straight points for Akari. 6 serving 8. Oli Akaro has 9 points already. Service out though.
Solar Spikers. The next
That's a much needed side out for Capital 1. Mitch Cobb, the captain and the main setter of Akari, who has an interesting dynamic with Camille Cal. Comes
Good
off
serve.
the bench. Gretzel Soltones, the block.
the hand of Tolenano.
Now we're seeing the roles here, the experience, the vet moves coming from Gretzel Soltones. When you need that immediate side out, you gotta lean to your veteran.
Right, she doesn't score as much, but the timing
Right,
over
the timing.
points, it's just been very precise. Back set onto the runner.
Smart.
Esquivel delivers.
This is Clemente. We've seen a lot of success coming from the running attacks here of the middle blockers of Capital 1. But that one was actually a short running attack. A set a bit closer to the setter than the usual long run attack.
Good response by Capital 1. Back row push by Akaro, and there's a scramble.
So net touch as well. But Akaro not ready for that back row attack. I think she's still adjusting to that pipe attack.
And she was a middle blocker before. A middle blocker doesn't usually attack.
Right. Still adjusting to that, of course.
8 to 10.
Good serve.
Tolenada, Marina. She went off to have a good start in this set, but now she has been neutralized. Akari has trimmed the lead down to 1.
Slowly, Akari creeping in this third set. Capital 1 needs to find some sort of spark. We did ask this earlier in the poll question on the pregame.
Which new addition
Yes.
will be the spark? Well, in terms of leading scorers, Tushova has 11. Faro has 9. Laksina has 11. Romal back to Marina. Dropping it. Faro with a read. Cobb. Laksina. Deflection saved by Leila. Tushova cross.
What a swing. Tushova with that cross-court attack.
This spike of the set is brought to you by Dunkin, Pasalubong ng Bayan.
Well, there's a lot of connection between Iris and Marina. Marina being that spark, I would say, for Capital 1.
Well, she is their leading scorer. And the leading scorer now of the whole game, as we just saw a service error.
Ball is out. 10 to 11.
You have to remind everybody that set number 2 reached 27 points. So 1 point would mean a lot for these two teams in set 3.
In 38 minutes.
Yes, in 38 minutes. Mitch Cobb, 4 points, 2 aces.
Wow. Of course, coming from serve and that 1-2 play.
Okaro dropping it. Nice pancake save, but no more recovery for Capital One.
Roma was almost there, loving the effort at that. But Michelle Cobb, knowing who to set at the right time, switching it up, fooling the blockers here of Capital One.
Team captain, Michelle Cobb. Serving for Akari.
Nice read by Oli Okaro. Mitch Cobb serves. Thought that it was going out, but now there was a touch.
There's a net
Yeah,
touch called on
Toshova was way under. Just had to go for the check.
Capital One up 5 points.
Set was a bit too short to the liking of Marina, but she was able to make a way.
Very intelligent play.
Serving.
And so the lead is back with the Solar Spikers, 12-11, set number 3. Tolinada, full front row for her. Cobb to the middle, Victoria. A chase for Jorel. That's the second time that it has happened, where Jorel Singh was running.
Only to Jorel.
Yeah.
But good effort. That one was a bit too risky. Of course, there's a railing there. But Camille Victoria with that quick attack. Block a bit too late for Capital One.
12 all. Ivy Laksina try to get the lead. Whoa, that was way out.
At goes wide.
She has actually been challenged with her serve.
With her serve.
4 service errors for Ivy in this game.
It's already a lot for just one player.
And we're only halfway done in the
Yes,
third set.
Marina Toshova. Serving.
Marina Toshova is now at the back row. Mitch Cobb back sets.
Ooh,
Marina
good up.
keeping it alive. Jorel Singh. Danny. Back to Oli. Marina still there as a sweeper.
Good bump set.
Taylor Cruz. Was that intentional?
You could see and feel her celebration from that beautiful bump set from Aroma. Her approach was actually a bit too early, but a point is a point.
Yeah, she'll gladly take it. Welcome back, Layla Cruz.
Service. Toshova.
14-12. Marina Toshova. Sharp serve. Danny first ball. Mitch
Ooh, what a swing.
at the net. Whistle blow,
Yep.
net touch, Iris Tolenada.
Dig was a bit too
Touch.
tight, but there was a net touch coming from Iris.
That really
She knew it.
is
She knew it. Yep.
a tough thing in volleyball, for you to save the ball and then iilag ka pa afterwards. You'd have to be Matrix.
Yes. I was just gonna say Matrix.
Serving for Akari.
13-14. Camille Victoria. For the tie. Normal, first ball.
Good set.
Ipak blocked. Coverage present by Roma May. Back row for Marina. Nope, no touch.
A little too wide on that back row attack, but perfect height as well. Lack of wrist action coming from Marina.
Now we're exchanging points. 14 all.
Service.
This is deadlock number 3 in set number 3. So far in this game, we have seen 15 deadlocks in 16 changes. An ace! That's a lead change.
Yep.
Chargers now at the
And of
lead.
course, Camille Victoria targeting Roma May. That's a beautiful serve. That floater serve.
Service.
Victoria back at it. There's Roma May Doromal. Ball up by Marina. Taylor Cruz. Chance ball. Doromal will set.
Good set.
Underhanded. Coverage present. Iris. Jorel had to recalculate. Blocked by Okaro. They go to the opposite side. Leila Cruz. It's a back row hit. Ivy Laksina with the help of the net. Getting the point.
Lucky point, lucky break for the Akari Chargers.
Technical timeout, 16-14. Akari has taken over. They're up by 2 points, 16-14, after
And the
trailing
second,
for
technical
most
time.
of set number 3. Akari has taken over, up by
Following
2
this match,
points
we will have
after
the
trailing
Signal
for most of
HD
set number 3.
Spikers taking on the Chocomucho
16-14, Mitch Cobb, team
Substitution,
captain,
Capital1,
able to lead the way with Gretzel
15,
Sotones for these
Alvarez.
Akari Chargers. This is our second game for today, following the victory of Petrogas versus Zeus Coffee. And then, for our last game, Signal HD will take on the Chocomucho Flying Titans on the birthday of Dina Wong. By the way, speaking of birthdays, Rongomay Duramal will celebrate hers tomorrow. And let's see if they could actually turn things around to give her a big gift on her debut. Nayla Cruz also on her debut. Able to score from the right pin.
See a seesaw battle here in this third set so far. And a lot of success makes coming from the bump sets of Roma to Layla Cruz going down the line.
Those two have actually become best friends with the Capital1 Solar Spikers.
The draftees unite.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have batchmates in your squad. Akaro, block,
Inside.
in actually. And so Capital1 gets the point.
You know, Migs, we did see this in the second set. The blocking coming alive in the latter part when it's needed.
Service.
Yes,
Clemente
Clemente was actually out of position.
Extremely late as well.
Good break for them. Misreceived. Soltones sending it back to the middle. Chance ball, a lot of time. Iris to the open. Alvarez, yes.
Alvarez coming off the bench. He had a few moments to unwind, I guess, coming from the sideline here, but making an instant impact here for her squad.
He's been in and out, working with Jorel Singh in terms of that substitution. 17-16. Nice dig by Marina. Shola Alvarez, touch or not? Shola says nope, it was clean.
We're tied
So
at
it's a point for
17.
Akari.
So far, so good on the side of Akari.
Yes.
Things are slowly gelling for them. Ivy Laxina, you have Ollie as well. Soltones, yes, in the front row. Let's see the strategy of Michelle Cobb.
Two options at front for Mitch. There's the
Inside.
option for Capital1. Layla Cruz able to score again.
Layla Cruz slowly gaining that confidence back. Of course, Mick, after more than a year of not playing, your confidence level is probably not super high. But you can see this is why Coach Roger is implementing her the entire match.
Service inside, received by Laxina. Soltones approaches, off speed. Alvarez to the back. Cobb said, no point yet. Iris to the middle. No more save. As the second ball by Coach Taka Binoan is obviously illegal. It will not be considered as live. And now we have a timeout, 19-17.
Timeout, Akari Chargers.
This line is not strong. Good pass, good pass. Ivy,
Ivy.
don't stop. Straight pass, move pass, and then make it straight pass. It's okay. Make it higher.
Habol talaga.
Okay na, go. One more time, one more time.
Check it. Hey, dalawa lang. One pass. Hey, Akari Chargers. Let's go, ha? Let's go.
Suportahan natin ang mga atletang Pilipino sa Paris Olympic Games 2024. Watch the games live from July 26 to August 11 on One Sports, One Sports Plus, RPTV, TV5, and the Pilipinas Live app. 100 taong laban para sa bayan. There you have it. May t-shirt pa yung mga PVL players natin. Big shout out to our Olympians. Good luck as you head over to Paris. But now, we focus on Capital1 and Akari. Layla Cruz on the first game back in the landscape of Philippine volleyball has 6 points. Okaro off the block. Nice response off of the timeout.
18.
Much needed side out for the Akari Chargers, and Michelle Cobb leaning towards Ollie with that back row attack. But Capital One, Migs, let's see if lessons have been learned compared to that first and second set.
This is their last chance to survive in this game after all. Tolenada pushes to the open. Alvarez, 2 blockers in front of her. This is Ivy Laxina. Sharp.
Laxina on the angle.
What an angle.
19.
Coming from Ivy Laxina in front of the 10-foot line, going for that sharp cross-court attack. Avoiding that block of Capital One.
19 all. Ivy Laxina now has 13 points as the leading scorer of Akari. Iris had to chase that ball. Alvarez, sharp, dug up by Danny.
Nice set.
Tight.
Right,
Ivy.
a little bit too tight.
Hit the antenna. Ball is out.
Hit the antenna.
Yep. The attack of Ivy, the tip, did touch the antenna. Good eye.
It happened in front of the first referee. There you
Set
go.
was a bit too tight. Yep.
20-19. Alvarez sending it in. Misreceived. Ivy for retribution. Just like that.
Third time. 20.
Smart play. An immediate side out here for the Akari Chargers. Able to type the score 20 all.
What a luxury it is to have Ivy Laxina as your open spiker. 20 all. A virtual race to 5 in set number 3. We already had one extended set. 27-25 in set 2. 1-2. Iris Tolenada. Very convincing at that.
I'm loving the leadership I'm seeing coming from Iris Tolenada. She's needed for the Capital One Solar Spikers. In better way, she's the setter. She's leading, running that ship for Capital One.
What a return game it has been for Iris Tolenada.
The confidence, everything is on point.
Nice dig by Alvarez. Marina, yes! And now it's a 2-point cushion for Capital One.
What an attack coming from Marina from the left pin. Beautiful dig as well coming from Alvarez. Avoiding that block from Akari.
6 out. 18. Cal in.
We're back with Des Clemente serving for the Solar Spikers. Camille Cal is back as well. This has been her role.
Clemente.
Play the clutch moments in the latter part of the sets. Camille to the open. Blocked. Coverage present. Recalculation for Ivy. No more save
Laxina
for the middle
finds the
blocker at the
stop.
back row. That's a usual target.
21-22.
It's a
Bump set.
concern when a middle blocker serves because
Cal
she becomes the target.
Yes.
for the Chargers.
But smart moves coming from Ivy, switching direction with the off-speed attack. But take a look here, Migs. Camille Cal, yet again.
Yeah. Oh, what a response. Camille Cal wants a challenge. I think they saw a net touch by Marina Tushova. This is going to be a big challenge.
This is the first challenge for Akari in this entire match.
We've only seen 2 in total.
Challenge for an antenna touch.
This is why they save it for these moments towards the latter part.
Antenna
So
touch.
it would either be a 2-point lead for Capital One or a deadlock at 22.
This is a antenna touch challenge.
Quite interesting. You don't see a lot of this challenge. Although
Right.
it is the same concept as a net touch.
A net touch. Almost, yep.
Was it just the ball? No. Looking
Not
at
the ball.
antenna.
There's no antenna touch.
Yeah, it looked clean. Okay, it is an unsuccessful challenge for Coach Taka Minoa on his first game as the head coach of Akari. Capital One is 2 points away from getting
challenge
their
is
first set victory in the
unsuccessful.
reinforced conference.
Point.
But the Chargers, remember, they already pulled off a comeback in the latter part of set number 2.
Capital1 now at 23-21.
Solenada has a full front row. Camille Cal, back
Good set.
set. Oli dropping it. Nice
Smart
read.
play. Changing tempo mid-air. We have not seen a lot of these tips from Oli. Needless to say, Capital1 not ready. They're waiting for those power attacks coming from Oli.
We have a new player for the Akari Chargers as their service specialist. This is Almazan. Catherine Almazan, one of the undrafted players who eventually signed to Akari. She is from Emilio Aguinaldo College.
Good serve.
Hit it short.
Good set.
Marina able to score 2 set points for Capital1. They're gonna extend this match.
The rebrand of this team, the lineup so far is working wonders for Capital1.
They're gonna have to pull off having a point with Marina at the back row. Ooh! There's the answer. Why not with her serve? And this would be the first set victory of the Capital1 Solar Spikers in the PVL Reinforced Conference.
And what a way to finish off this set here. An ace coming from their reinforcement in Marina.
2 sets to 1. We're not yet done. The second game, day number 2. Marina now has 15 points. Check that, 18 points to her name. That's the leading scorer in this match with 15 attack points. That was her first service ace. And we have a couple of people enjoying the action inside the Phil Sports Arena. 2 sets to 1 in favor of Akari.
We are back inside the Phil Sports Arena, 18-25, 25-27, and 25-22. The Capital1 Solar Spikers leading the way in that third set. Iris Tolanada running that ship for Capital1, knowing who to set at the right time. Salamagos, Layla Cruz adding more juice in her attacks here. But for the Akari Chargers, they had quite too many unforced errors, a few miscues as well. They did not play as a team in that third set.
Let's see the numbers.
Right here with set 3 stats, the attacks almost the same, 16 with Capital1 and 14 for Akari. It's that ace that Capital1 had, but Migs, what is not shown on your screens is the timing of the blocks, the timing of the aces, of the timing of the attacks and opponent errors that can somehow shift the momentum of your own squad. But so far, so good. The rebrand here of Capital1. This is what Coach Roger did say during the PVL Draft Combine. He's liking the lineup so far, and he did mention that height is one of the categories that he needs so far. And when you look at the lineup here, you have Marina, Clemente, Layla Cruz, Julia Ipak that are standing out so far in terms of offense.
Not to mention, Iris Solenada has played so
Stellar.
well with her leadership. There's the leader on the other side. Gretzel Saltones with her good vibes as per usual, spreading it to Ivy Laxina. I'd like to go back to the error tally. Only 6 all. That's relatively low.
That's low, and it needs to be low because the first 2 sets of each team extremely high. We did mention that earlier.
We saw a total of 19 in set number 1 and 24 in set number 2.
It's a lot of unforced errors. So let's see who will minimize the unforced errors and who will adjust fast.
Set number 4 commencing. Thank you for joining us. There's a whistle blown, a net touch by Capital1.
Yep, by Clemente. But this time, Migs, Camille Cal is running the offense.
I wonder if the roles are just going to be reversed. Will Mitch actually be the one in the clutch later on?
Possibly.
Ivy Laxina, that's another service error, number 5 for her. You did mention she is transitioning onto that jump serve.
Kind of rare also to change your serve at this juncture as well. Usually new skills are learned when you're a bit younger,
Yeah.
but the effort is there. You'd rather make the mistakes now.
It's like birthing pains for Ivy
right.
Laxina. And Alexis Tinsay would know about that. As Capital1 just scored with a point from the middle. There's the height that you mentioned
Yes.
that they're trying to utilize this conference.
The high vibrations coming from Capital1. Take a look at that. Clemente going for that short running attack. This is what it means to have a veteran setter on your squad. You're utilizing all your options.
2-1. Solar Spikers on top. Service error though.
That goes long. 2-all.
Coach Taka Minoa from wearing green is now wearing pink.
Victoria.
Something that we have gotten used to for a couple of players. Camille Cal and Ivy Laxina also added.
Good serve.
Marina Tushova found the line. There was a net touch as well.
Clean volleyball so far that we're seeing from the Capital1 Solar Spikers. Better production on the service receive. More steady compared to the first 2 sets.
You heard the buzzer twice. They have a timeout. It's called for Akari.
Automatic going to cross block. Depends on the approach line. Make sure it's a pass. Pass is going inside. They will hitting, but cannot go to outside. So the number 25 will hitting line. So depends on the approach line. So it's really important. Okay, we need to stop number 25. Okay, go on, go on, go on.
Hey guys, let's go!
It's 3-2 in set number 4. This is the second game for your PVL triple header following the victory of Petrogas versus Zeus Coffee. Later on, Choco Mucho will go up against Signal HD. So we've had 2 3-setters and 2 5-setters so far in our reinforced conference. Let's see where this will add.
No comment, please.
Maaga pa. Gretzel Soltones able to score, and now we'll listen in to Alexis Tinsay.
Migs and Jamie, I heard you. Is this going to be a 5-setter? But as we can see, the Akari Chargers are being fully recharged right now, given that Capital1 had that dominating 3rd set finisher. Danny Ravenna moving back to Akari. Thought she was going to have a harder time given the change, but surprisingly, she had an easier process adjusting given the instantaneous connection she had with the players and the experience she had being a former next-led chameleon under the same coach. More so, Danny's excited to the power rookie Steph Australia has to bring to the table. Steph, who was in full shock she'd get drafted in the first round, told me that despite being the only player from UP, the systems they grew up with may be different, but now they're all uniting under Coach Taka's mentorship, and they'll do anything in their hands to get their first win of the season. This report is brought to you by the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for 149 pesos per month, and watch via PilipinasLive.com in HD and commercial free anytime and anywhere in the world. Back to you, Mix and Jamie.
First of all, I love the humility from Steph Bustrillo.
Yes.
Ang top scorer lang naman ng UP Fighting Maroons in the last UAAP season. Welcome to the PVL. Welcome back to Danny Ravenna, who is with Akari once more. As Marina Tushova tried to score to no avail, and this is Gretzel Soltones, who's blocked. Coverage present. A push by Oli. Doromal keeping it alive. Ipa couldn't reach for it.
A misset, a set a bit too high coming from Iris, but you can see the adjustment there coming from that dig of Roma Dorma, which was a bit too fast as well from that free ball.
I have one last point off of that report by Alexis Tinsay. Because Coach Taka transferred to Akari with a couple of players, I actually wonder if that transition happened for the players formerly of Nexted or for those who were already with Akari.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
because they basically adjusted to the newcomers
Maybe
with the coach.
we should ask him later. We should ask him later.
At chase, no more save for Roma May Doromal. It actually becomes quite dangerous when you reach that point with the boards and the railings as well. That's why we're giving a round of applause to Roma May Doromal. Advance happy birthday to you. Welcome to the PVL.
BD, Roma. But of course, beautiful swing coming from Iris, from Ivy rather. Iris getting that first touch.
So that's the first sequence where it wasn't Jorel Singh chasing the ball. Oh, that was saved by Tolenada, and they have a chance. Marina Tushova will score. What a highlight for Capital One.
The team effort of Capital One, staying calm during these crucial moments.
That was the sequence before the point. And here's the actual hit of Marina Tushova.
Guest player, Marina Tushova.
5-all.
Serving for the Solar Spikers.
Tushova. She has already reached 20 points in this game. Ivy Laksina tried to make it 17 for herself. Not yet. Leila Cruz will push. Chance ball Akari. Ivy Laksina. Doromal onto the open. Alvarez. Deflected. Camille Cal. Back set. Oli. A miscue there between Marina Tushova and Roma May Doromal.
See Oli slowly adjusting to the system of Coach Taka with this back row attack, targeting that long ball attack. But yep, you are right, Migs. That's a miscue coming from the Capital One Solar Spikers.
Chemistry is just being built. First games of the conference for these two teams. After all, 6-5, Akari with the advantage.
Good serve.
Shola Alvarez will scrape the net. Camille Cal, that's tight.
Yep.
Violation, Ivy Laksina.
It's a bit too tight. But there will be a challenge.
Laksina was surprised as well.
There's a challenge on the floor by
The set of
Akari
Oli was a
for
bit
net
too
fault.
tight for Ivy
Challenge
Laksina.
number 3, Akari,
Now here's the thing.
net fault.
If her hair was the only body part that touched the net, would that be considered nowadays?
Let's see
Right?
with this challenge.
Because that rule has changed lately. And it's actually the reason why some players cut their hair before or they tied it.
Yes.
This is the earliest challenge that
So
we've
far.
seen in a set.
In this entire match.
Only 3 in total for Akari and Capital One. By the way, if you're watching this and you have time, remember we have one last game. Signal HD versus Chocomucho. Join us if you can. There's the net touch.
Yes, there's a net touch from Leila Cruz,
Okay.
scraping the net, the tape of the net with her hand. Good eye.
It's not even about the hair.
Challenge is successful.
It's actually
Point
Leila
Yes.
who
go
touched
to
it.
the Akari Chargers.
Coach Taka, successful. 2-point advantage for Sed Domingo and company.
7-5. Celine Domingo serving.
A best middle blocker and a finals MVP in the PVL. Sharp serve. A chase for Iris Alvarez. Deflection. Oli. That goes down inside.
What a swing coming from Oli with that broad jump. So much power and juice in that attack.
It's 8-5. Technical timeout. We are in set number 4 for Akari versus Capital 1. The Chargers are up 8-5. They're also up 2 sets
End
to
of
1.
the first.
Can they actually close out? This is their biggest margin, biggest advantage so far in this set. But in the game, the biggest lead was 9 back in set number 1. It's been much tighter ever since. Said Domingo, that was way too sharp, but it was actually low.
A bit too iced after that technical timeout. You have 8 seconds to serve.
So now,
Ipak.
it's 8
Serving
seconds
for
for
Capital
Julia
One.
Ipak. Service inside. Sultanes receives. Cal to the middle. There you go.
Quick attack. 9-6.
The first time we're seeing a quick attack coming from Camille Victoria. We have not seen a lot of middle attacks so far, but beautiful receive. Camille Cal now being fielded in for Michelle Cobb in this fourth set.
Just so everybody knows, while we were on that break, Jamie actually whispered to me that she wanted to see a connection to the middle blocker for Camille Cal.
They heard me.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Akari.
7-9. Leila Cruz at the service line. There's Danny Ravena getting ready to receive. There it is. Had to dive for it. Ivy Laxina cross court. Doromal keeping it alive.
Good set.
Alvarez blocked. Coverage present. Back row push onto zone 1. Danny choosing Ivy. Off the block.
Sina off the hand.
These are the
of
simple attacks coming from Ivy Laxina. Just getting the touch on that block of Capital One, and a much needed side out for Akari.
10-7 is the tally. Back to a 3-point advantage. Ivy Laxina will now try to contribute at the back row. Remember, she's been having a challenge there.
Yes.
In terms of her services, 5 errors in this game.
It's her toss as well, Migs, that tends to be a bit too low.
Better now. The ball went in. Camille Cal onto Oli Okaro. Scramble for Capital One. Shola Alvarez. Read well. Shola again. Cross court. Gletzel with a dig. Back row for Ivy. Dug up by Roma May Doromal. Alvarez. Through and through. Camille Cal. Open. Gletzel. Another dig by Roma May Doromal. Camille Cal to the opposite now. Oli able to score.
We've seen a lot of success coming from Ollie here in the right pin. She has the height, she has the might. Also another beautiful set coming from Camille Cal.
I love the rhyme. That was Okaro for Akari with the point. And now we have a timeout.
We never used it. Ano nangyari? Your last set was Marina is here.
Okay.
But your set was here.
Alright. I'll fix it. Next shot. Nope, too low.
Last set.
No, that's my set.
I'm telling her, you are in the middle. Her set went backwards. Let's use it. Sayang eh. Sayang, hindi naman makapatay si Sula doon. Sayang.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. Capital!
See if other options will be activated by Iris Tolenada, the leader of Capital One. 11-7 is the tally. They're down by 4 in set number 4. Either way, would you actually say that Capital One already has made progress in terms of their performance in this game?
Well, so far compared to the first set, I would say a better performance in the receive, in their blocking, but the true question is, Migs, how can you sustain that throughout this entire reinforced conference? And of course, this is just the first gauge that we can see from these teams.
Nice dig by Camille Cal. Ravena now to Okaro, dropping it. Good read. Alvarez outside. It was wide.
Too wide.
It's been a challenge for her attacking from the open.
And of course, she's up against such tall blockers. You can see she was going for that sharp cross-court attack. But of course, we have Jarrell Singh now fielded in, the former NU Bulldog, fielded in.
Who has always been crafty with the way she attacks, being undersized.
Service.
It's now 12
Laksina.
serving 7. Biggest lead extended. Ivy Laksina. Better service now for her. And Capital 1 almost scored. One more try. Marina from the back. Good block.
Turned back by Victoria.
Marina
13-7.
attacking here with that back row attack. The blockers of Akari Chargers. She has to find some way, maybe go tip in the short spots in front of the 10-foot line. But you could see the steady blocking here for Akari.
It's now 13 serving 7. Ivy Laksina with 17 points. That is service error number 6.
8-13.
Did you ever try to learn the jump serve?
Never.
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 Just play it safe.
Yeah.
Captain.
I mean, it just depends on the style of your play, not necessarily playing it safe, but if it's something you're not comfortable with, those are things that you don't want to, you know, high risk, high reward, but in situations like that, it's kind of hard to take that risk.
I'd like to think that in the long run, it could pay off for Ivy Laksina. And when it does, then boy, it's going to be a big tool for her. It is 9 serving 13. Sharp serve by Jorel Singh. Okaro going cross.
Cross-court shot.
Also coming from a break ball, a bump set, a high bump set coming from Danny Ravenna.
There's a challenge on the floor.
We have a challenge.
By Capital 1.
Is it in or out?
Ball in,
Yes.
ball out. Challenge
Let's
number
see.
1. Ball in, ball out.
Well, it happened in
Capital
front
1.
of Coach Roger.
Ball in, ball out challenge.
Is it the first ball in, ball out?
Yes.
We've
So,
seen different types of challenges
Yep.
so far.
so far, net touch,
Antenna
antenna touch.
touch.
Yep.
Seems to be really tight.
See,
Oh,
yep,
apparently not.
definitely inside.
I think our technical committee just had to find the right view for that
Yep.
one because the shoe was blocking
Yes.
the trajectory of the ball. Unsuccessful challenge for Coach Roger, who's still pleading his case.
Unsuccessful. Point and serve. Go to
Wonder what he
the
saw.
Chargers now at 14-9.
Okay, we shall continue. 14 serving 9. This is Camille Victoria, a starting middle blocker for Akari in this game. Toromal receives, chased by Iris Tolenada. Camille has the setter now for Okaro. Nice block. Was it Des?
Back wide.
Yes, it was Des. Perfect timing as well. Ollie was actually on a roll coming from the right pin with his cross-court attacks. But now these are the in-game adjustments that we're seeing from Capital 1 implemented.
By the way, I'd like to say to Des Clemente, nice hair.
Loving the blue streaks here.
Of course, it matches the jersey of Capital 1.
Good set.
Marina blocked. Coverage present. Clemente keeping it alive. And this is a chance ball. Camille Cal with a lot of time. Set
Too low.
Domingo. Yeah. But Set was still able to recalculate mid-air.
You know, those are the vet moves that we see from said Domingo. Adjusting mid-air. See Iris and Layla Cruz diving for that. Iris almost there for that first contact.
By the way, Iris Tolenada has been all over
She's
the floor.
everywhere. Yep.
Serving for
Loving the
As a
effort.
setter yourself.
You have to. And you can see that she's not super choosy with the digs that come to her. As a setter, you can't always expect a perfect defense coming from the Spikers.
Nice dig by Gretzel Santones. I do have a question for you later on about being a setter. As the rally continues, Danny Ravenna, great recognition. Chance ball for Capital
Good set.
1. Slide. Outside.
balls
It's
out.
quite rare for Julia Ipak. And we have a challenge.
Second
Nope,
technical
it's just the
timeout.
second technical timeout.
Akari,
16 to 10.
Capital 1.
back inside the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. Now is the time for me to ask you as a setter, in terms of fatigue, Jamie, because for a player like Iris Tolenado, who has played all game long as the main setter of Capital 1, chasing balls here and there in an extended match, where does fatigue actually sink in? Or, on the flip side, would you actually say na buwelo mo yun from the first couple of sets, and in the latter part, you already are in your groove?
For sure, the fatigue is after the game when you're doing nothing, right?
Okay.
Of course, when you're in the motion of the game, in sync with the game, you don't really feel it as much. It's actually, of course, as you get older, the recovery's much longer.
Yeah. At least you feel it afterwards. Since that was a nice block by Akari, and now we have a timeout. Quick as that for Coach Roger Gorayev.
Pupuntahan siya noon. Kung nakatunga nga tayo sa kanya, alam naman natin na medyo mababa nilalaro niya ngayon. Tulungan natin. Hindi ko kailan na block, tsaka tayo after the block, that's the only time we will move. Before the block, andun na tayo, coverage agad tayo. I tell you, just relax. Drop the ball one time, and then the next play, you attack it hard.
Let's go. Keep going. Capital!
I love the tone of Coach Roger Gorayev. It seems like it's different in this conference.
You know, I think it's all rooted from the liking of his lineup so far, the effort that is there. We even saw him clapping.
Yeah, smiling a lot.
During that second set. You know, he has high hopes for this squad. The young guns are actually the ones performing, but we still haven't seen Patty Orndain, May Makatuna, who I'm sure will be fielded in eventually when things go wrong or if they're ahead as well.
It's another block for the Akari Chargers. Sen Domingo now has 8 points and 4 blocks in this game.
Take a look at that replay. Perfect timing as well. The blocking is there for Sen Domingo, but in terms of the connection with her spikers, that is something that still needs to be tweaked a bit.
Service error now for Oli Okaro. 18-10. Now we have drums. It's getting better and better inside the Phil Sports Arena. Later on, it's Signal HD versus Choco Mucho after
Of
all.
course, the seats are almost filled here on a Thursday.
Nice play by Camille Callen, and even better celebration.
But we see Michelle Cobb and the first time Ellie Soyud substitution. First double sub we're seeing in this match for Akari. I think Coach Taka likes fielding in the finishers as well. And I think the fact that Camille Cal was the finisher in the first 3 sets helped her with set number 4. I think that's also possible tactic.
It's like a warm-up as well for her.
Yes.
Warm-up in the clutch. How about that? Ball sent to Ellie Soyud. Mitch Cobb pushes to the open. Ivy Laxina had a funny reaction as she was going up. Leila Cruz, not much power there. Ivy, once again.
It's a beautiful swing coming from Ivy Laxina, going for that cross-court attack. Take a look at the score here. Migs, Akari up by 9 points. This is where the growing pains come from the Capital 1 Solar Spikers. This is where their mentality is tested, their skill is tested during these moments.
This is the biggest lead in the match, tied with what happened in set number 1. Good push by Marina Tashova, who now has 20 points.
Easy point for the Capital 1 Solar Spikers, but Akari just 5 points away of clinching their first win in the Reinforced Conference.
As Jamie broke down, it's like 2 round robins.
Yes.
And after that, it's win it all come the final 8. As Ellie Soyud scores the first point in this match.
Instant impact. Coming from the right pin, Ellie Soyud. We all know her to be one of the veterans of this squad. Always prepared, always ready. And of course, to put her on the court now, Coach Taka has so much trust for her.
Yeah. And she has always been useful with her length
Yes.
from the opposite side. There you go.
Speaking of,
For blocks. Mitchkov to the open. Another lengthy player. Ivy Laxina almost scored. Cobb. Ellie. Nice approach. Coverage present. Set Domingo now as a setter. Ellie Soyud. Drop. Goromal. Saved by Jorel. Push to zone 1. Chance ball at the middle. Goromal. What a game for her. Another free ball. Oh, the set was a bit too high for Camille Victoria, or maybe a bit too early.
Yes, mistiming that A quick attack coming from Michelle Cobb, but Roma Dormal reading that early on. Beautiful defense coming from Roma.
Gotta be happy for her as she ages tomorrow. 21-13.
Good set.
Cross court for Ivy Laxina.
Smart spot coming from Ivy Laxina, that cross-court attack.
That's 19 points now in this game for Ivy. The lead is back up to 9, 20-13. Ellie Soyud trying to become the finisher. So Akari will actually stick with its double sub.
Yes.
As there's a mistake made by Iris Tolenada. There's Mitchkov at the front row, which made us realize that they might stick with this up until the end. Soyud sending it through. Goromal with the receive.
Good set.
Jorel Singh cross court. With a very funny reaction.
What is throwing coming from Jorel Singh. Iris Tolenada giving her a lot of reps in this entire match. Beautiful cross-court attack.
Leila Cruz serving for
14-23. Leila Cruz. Nice receive by Gretzel. Ivy Laxina outside. Oh, she wants a touch.
Outside shot.
Check ball. Block touch challenge.
It hasn't been the smoothest of outings for Ivy, with 6 unforced errors and then 6 service errors.
She knew right away as she landed. She told Coach Taka right away that there was a block touch from her attack.
This could increase the lead to 10 points. That could be. No, actually, that would match the biggest lead in this game, if ever. This would be the second challenge of Akari. Yep.
Wow, good eye coming from Ivy Laxina.
She got the cheers from the crowd. Doesn't challenge. And 10 match points. The rookie will now check in for the first time. Welcome to the PVL, Stephanie Bustrillo, the leading scorer of the UP Fighting Maroons in UAAP Season 86 as their opposite spiker.
Chargers now at
As Alexis mentioned, she was surprised to be selected in the first round. I don't think we were.
Huge standout of UP.
Ooh, Jorel Singh, not the best of contacts there, and it's going to be a point for Akari off of the service by Bustrillo. It's their first win in the PVL 2024 Reinforced Conference in 4 sets.
Beautiful show out coming from the Akari Chargers. Ollie shining bright for the Akari Chargers, adjusting to the system, not only to the Philippine volleyball style, but also the Japanese style of Coach Taka. Beautiful improvement from Michelle Cobb and Camille Cal running the offense for the Akari Chargers. But the Solar Spikers here, Capital One, I have to say their performance was stellar. Huge improvement in their entire lineup. Everyone pitching and everyone helping out. You can see that Coach Roger is very happy with what he's seeing.
There you have it, our final score, 3-1 in favor of the Akari Chargers top scorers.
Coming up next,
We have
the
Marina
signal
Tushova with 20
between
points off of
Spikers
17
versus
attacks.
the
Ivy Laxina
Chocobo
matches her output with 20
Flying
points
Tigers.
off of 20
Stay with us.
attacks. Who else? Oli Ocaro, 16 points, 14 attacks for her. Sed Domingo had 8, Soltones with 6, Camille Victoria also had 6. On the other hand, Iris Solinada had 7 points as a setter. Ines Clemente had 7 as well with Leila Cruz. And now we go to Alexis Tinsay.
And here with me is Oli Ocaro of the Akari Chargers with 16 points, 14 attacks, 1 block and 1 ace. Congratulations, Oli.
Thank you so much.
And with that, you mentioned you wanted to grow out of the middle blocker position and just be the best opposite spiker you can be for the Chargers. And how did that go a while ago?
Well, for this match, I would say I was definitely trying to utilize my body. Let's say I'm really long. I have really long arms and I have a really big jump. So I was really trying to be patient, but then being able to, like, you know, reach at the highest point to get the ball and, like, hit deep. In the beginning of the match, it actually wasn't working out so well. I definitely had to make some adjustments, but throughout the match, I realized what I was doing wrong, and then it improved.
And with that, you had a perfect execution. You had a wonderful beginning. And do you want to greet anyone in particular?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Do you want to greet anyone in particular?
Greet anyone in particular? I want to greet everyone. I mean, obviously I don't have time, but if I could, I mean, the fans here tonight were crazy and they were really loud, so just the support there. I do have my husband here though, so I would love to greet him and thank him for all the support as well, but yeah.
And with that, congratulations again to Oli Ocaro of the Akari Chargers. We have an upcoming match next.
Well, Oli Ocaro will get used to our style here in the PVL after all. Congratulations to her for getting her first victory in her PVL career as a reinforcement. But now, Jamie, we have our final numbers.
Take a look at the attacks here. That huge gap. 52 attacks for Akari and 36 from Capital One. 9 blocks for Akari, but mixed. Take a look at the unforced errors here. 36 and 34. If minimized in the upcoming games for Capital One and Akari, they will have a better show out, I would say. But all looks good so far from Akari and the Capital One Solar Spikers. To think that this was their first game.
Yep.
They are in Pool B, so let's see how things will unfold.
And there is progress for them as franchises in the PVL. Congratulations to both teams, but of course more to the Akari Chargers for their first victory of the season. Do support our Olympians this coming July 26. But up next we have the single HD Spikers taking on the Choco Mucho Flying Titans as they debut in the 2024 Premier Volleyball League Reinforced Conference. For the returning Alexis Tinsay and Jamie La Victoria, my name is Fix Gomez. And watch out for more of our PVL Reinforced Conference.